Okay, so in today's video we're going to go over the most powerful characters in the game, and we're going to start off from the bottom and go all the way up to the best character in the game. And I'm going to give you the reasons why I believe these characters are ranked the way they are ranked. Alright, let's jump right into it. So we're going to start off with Gear 4 Luffy. Gear 4 Luffy is pretty good. He's ranked number 5 because he has very good damage. It's just that when it comes to normal attacks, he's not as good as the other characters on this list. His skill 1 has a good amount of range and he can defeat multiple enemies at the same time, so this is very good. Then once he uses skill 2, it benefits him by giving him a 30% attack boost, which is very good. And then when he's in the enemy's treasure area, you get an additional 30% damage dealt, pretty good. And when he's receiving damage, he has a 5% chance to boost his defense by 20%, which lasts for 10 seconds. This is very good for an attacker. This unit overall is very good, but compared to the other 4 characters, he's not on the same tier as them. He's a little bit lower, because there are other characters that could have been in the 5th slot aside from him. While the other 4 characters on the list, there's no question that they deserve to be in the top 5 most powerful characters within the game. While you can make an argument that Kuma and Timeskip Luffy could have been number 5. Gear 4 is an all-round monster when it comes to attacking. This is what makes him one of the best characters in the game. The gap between one Ozora and Gear 4 Luffy is rather large in my opinion, because one Ozora, he just does so much. He's a ranged character that is able to attack the enemy from both a distance and close. He's just overall a very good unit in the game, because many ranged characters, they're not as good as him and they don't have attacks that feel solid once you use them, while other ranged characters have shallow normal attacks. The skill 1 is a charge attack that can one-shot the enemy, and a charge attack is just very good because it launches you towards the character that you're facing, and this makes it easier to get kills. While its skill 2 is a long-range attack that pierces the enemy, it can hit from one enemy to the next without being interrupted, because once the move hit one opponent, it just keeps on going until it reaches maximum range. And he's also a hybrid attacker defender because he do gain traits that benefits him when he's in your treasure area, such as an increase in defense and an increase in attack. This man overall is just really good. When in your own captured treasure area, he gets a 30% reduction to damage. This is just really good because this just increases overall survivability as an attacker, and also a 30% increase to damage when in your own captured treasure area. This man is just really good. His normal attacks are also very good. There's not much of a difference between top 4 and top 3. They're just very close together. In terms of viability, Kataku and one Ozora, they're neck and neck because they're just that good when you compare them to each other. There's a reason why Kataku is the best attacker in the game, because his skills and his traits, they're just very good, and I am kinda sad that I don't currently have him. Alright, let's start off with his skill 1. It's a move that has a knockback effect at level 5, and the damage is 330, but it has 2 steps, so 330 times 2 gives you 660. This is very decent, and once you use the move, you get a 30% increase to attack for 10 seconds, and this makes the move even that much better than it already is. Very good. And the cooldown time is pretty decent as well, 29 seconds. You can't really beat that on an attacker. That's very good. His skill 2 is Rainfall Mochi. It reduces the opponent's speed, and he also does 925 damage. This is because it's a 5-step attack move. The area this move has is very good as well, because it could defeat multiple enemies that are around you. The cooldown on the move is 51 seconds, but I think it's worth it for a move that's this good. It reduces the opponent's speed by 30%, like, how much more do you want? He also has really good character traits. He changed down to a staggering effect. This means that when the opponent's attacking you, and their last move will knock other characters down, it will not knock you down, because his character trait allows you to keep attacking without really being affected by the opponent's normal attacks. And when he's being attacked, he has a 100% chance to reduce the cooldown time of dodge by 50%. This is one of the best character traits to have because it could change the battle from losing to just winning. This is a monstrous of a character in the game, and these are the things that make Kataku slightly better than Zoro. Doflamingo is just in a whole nother tier compared to the other characters on the list that came before him. He's just really good. Having this character will make capturing treasure so much easier. This is because his skill 1, Black Knight, is an invincibility skill that spawns a clone and moves you forward. The cooldown time is 17 seconds, and also when he uses skill, he gains a 10% to speed boost for 10 seconds. This is just really good because this could make you shut out the opponents. A shutout means that you capture all 5 treasure while your opponent captures 0, and this makes the match end earlier than it should. And with this character, this happens very often. And his skill 2 is called Billow White. It's a 5-step attack that does 730 damage and reduces the opponent's speed by 10% for 20 seconds once it's at level 5. This move is very good for targeting lots of enemies. Alright, let's talk about his trait. When your HP is less than 1%, he recovers HP by 15%. And also when your strength is more than 50%, 1 HP will be left no matter what attack you're hit with. So this means that he cannot be one-shotted. This is some of the best traits to have as a runner. At this point you're probably wondering, how is Doflamingo better than the other characters previously? Well, to that I would say that, have you seen a character this good without having a tap boost? I don't think so. Doflamingo overall is just a monster in this game. If he had attack traits, he would just dominate everything in the game. That's how good he would be. Let's move into the character that stands at the top. So in this game, there's no one that has a better stat distribution compared to Big Mom. She's a defender and she has a higher attack than her defense. Her skills and character trait is what makes her stand at the top of the game. Let's go over it right now. Her skill 1 summons Zeus and he shocks the enemies that are behind you. This move does 8 shock in total, and I believe it remains on the field for 5 seconds or longer. It's just really good, and the chance of inflicting shock is 100% guaranteed, and it lasts for 3 seconds. And when she attacks a shocked enemy, her damage is increased by 20%, which is just really good. This move is perfect if you're trying to stall for time because it immobilizes your opponent and prevent them from taking any actions. Then for her skill 2, she attacks with Prometheus. It does 752 damage, and he also has a knockback effect and inflicts a flame for 10 seconds, which does 90 damage per second. The cooldown time is 51 seconds. This is long, but for this move it's definitely worth it because it's meant to be a final move to KO your opponent. Once you use Zeus, you're supposed to follow up by using Prometheus on the shocked enemy. Without further ado, let me talk about what makes her so damn good. When in the area around your captured treasure, increase damage dealt by 30%. And when your strength is more than 90%, reduce damage received by 80%. This is just really good because if your strength is more than 90%, she'll barely be taking any type of damage. Especially if your opponent is using normal attacks on her. That's a foolish move right there. And whenever she defeats an opponent, she restores her HP by 15%. So you'll almost always have a 90% or more health. Big Mom is just really deserving of being called a Yonko. Her traits and skills are just really disgusting. As always, thanks for watching, you boy. Peace, and see you tomorrow.